Hello there, only One Kenobi here, only one. And you should be looking at an array of Star Wars or A New Hope characters that I've just whipped out to continue a series I started a while ago, and I want to get it back on. It was called Top TVC Needed. Don't be confused, it's not in my carded room as the thumbnail will suggest. I'm here in my loose room, and so I've already done Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and I found a loose figure that's equivalent to what I want in the TVC. And basically, yeah, these are characters that I want them to put into TVC. There might be a figure that hasn't been made for a long time, like these are from the Power of the Force 2, or there might be a figure that, well, that's 30th anniversary, and they've made a Biggs as recently as 2013, who I currently have in that cockpit, right there in the Biggs X-Wing. But either way, I'm going to give you top 5, but do you know what? As of the start of this video, I haven't made my final decision on the top 5, so I'm just going to go through the 10 now, and then at the end of the video, if you stay with me, I will choose the 5 that are the most important, and then my honourable mentions will follow. We're in natural light, and look at this, these figures are just brilliant now. They really are, and that one in particular is a really good C-3PO, Garen down in the background there, and of course I've got, in some cases, 2 figures for one character choice. I'm just going to go through that in a minute. I just wanted to give you a quick overview. As you can see, I've got not 1 but 2 customs as well for Farm Boy Luke, and then you've got Ben Kenobi there, and yeah, 2 really good figures. They need to amalgamate those 2 for the TVC, and then of course Owen and Baru. I don't know if to choose these as one. No, they should be they're 2 separate characters. They should be 2 separate, and then of course you've got 3 in 1 here. I will talk about that later, but these are officers. But so, should we go for this? Right, let's go all the way back to... Go on, we'll start with Leia. And obviously, Leia is an example of... You know, this isn't a priority. I reckon she probably won't be in my top 5. Because I feel like I have a modern equivalent of her. And we've also had her in the retro collection. But I do believe that they still need to make a definitive of Leia. And... because, you know, this figure here has these awful swivels. If you're not aware, they don't have hinges there. So, you know, overall, you know, a character as important as her needs some love in 3 3/4 inch. Moving across, these are in no particular order. I just thought I'd put them out. Biggs Darklighter. You may have heard me talk about Biggs before. Again, he came out in the Black Series Orange line, the bane of my bloody life, that line of figures. Because all of those characters should have been on a vintage card anyway. This isn't the figure that came in the orange card line. This is the 30th anniversary figure, but it's really good. I like this figure helmetless, if you know what I mean, so, because it's such a good head sculpt, that I think. But the other figure, I actually have the helmet on, and he's in the cockpit of the I nearly said TIE Fighter there, the X-Wing. Speaking of TIE Fighter, this is General Oxixio, or whatever you call him. He has come out in TVC, and there's different variations of him, but this one with the silver stripe, this is actually the one that came with that TIE Fighter there, which is also a TVC release, but I think they subsequently have brought him out again in a reissue on a, this is the thing you see, on a Return of the Jedi badge with a darn Empire Strikes Back image. Now, what I've always wanted in TVC, going right back to the beginning of my channel, is a TIE Fighter pilot on a New Hope card, and we all know what that would look like. Just the pilots, that's the first time you see them. The faceless enemy, they look, I think it's the same in Top Gun. The bad guys in Top Gun, you don't see their face, do you? But nor do you see the face of a TIE Fighter pilot. Moving hastily on to 3PO. Now, what do you think they can do? I believe in you, Hasbro. I believe that you could do a 3PO. Vac Metal, I don't know if you're allowed to do that or you don't want to do it anymore. Save the planet and all, I don't know what the issue is, but what you've not done yet, and this is the only outstanding character now, is C-3PO on a Star Wars cardback. But I just wanted to pause and focus on this one in particular, because this is vac metalized, and that's how a 3PO should be, in my opinion. But this one actually does have a little bit of articulation. You've got knee joint articulation here, because this is the one that came with the throne. This is C-3PO Concept's favourite figure, besides the Han Solo we mentioned. But it kind of shows that you can articulate a, what do you call it, a vac metal figure, but I don't believe that they need to vac metal. I've seen a lot of items recently, including the coins that come on the Boba Fett, the droids line, of all lines. They are shiny. In fact, I'm going to go and get one. Bear with me. See, look at him. And this is actually 3PO as well. Deliberately dull to look like the cartoon, but look at that coin. That is, I mean, have they vac metalized that? I asked somebody this. I asked the BOE, I said, is that vac metalized? And he said, no, I think it's just the paint they've used. But I tell you what, that ain't half shiny. If they could do a figure as shiny as that, I'd be happy. They don't need to vac metalize. And I do know that they can make figures shiny because, well, that's the dull one. That's the original TVC that they've brought out again on an Empire Strikes Back card. Come on, Hasbro.
Bruh.
And if you, well, basically, I don't really mind. I think they should just bring him out on a Star Wars card. That's the most important thing. But it would be really just a bonus if they could make him shine. Then, of course, you've got Garindan. This has been a guy always on my list. And this is a great figure. Lovely facial details there. But this, obviously, this robe needs to go. That is very reminiscent of the Luke Skywalker that came out in the OTC, the 2004 original trilogy collection. But, you know, Garindan would just kick all kinds of ass on the card back anyway. But the figure, this is just so promising for a really good figure to come back to. Look at the detail. Then, of course, the most important one, he will be in my top 10. Spoiler alert, he will be in my top 5, sorry. Luke Farmboy. These are two variations I have of a custom. That's the head of the Dagobah Landing TVC figure and the body of the VOTC. And the reason I like this one so much is because he's got soft goods. I would prefer the figure they do for Luke, if they're ever going to do it, to be soft goods. This is also a good one that Daniel Chart taught me how to do that. That's the 30th anniversary Luke that came with the Evaporator, with the head of the Stormtrooper disguise Luke, right? So anyway, Luke Skywalker. Then, of course, old Ben. No prizes for guessing the card back I want to see. I just think that one that would match so nicely with Vader's. It's like Vader's jewel, isn't it? You know what I mean? The one with the yellow lightsaber, nah, doesn't do it for me. But the other one does. I think that oh, come on, Hasbro, just do it. Would you please make that and make my lifetime, please? The one of Ben holding the blue saber matches how it should be anyway. The yellow saber thing is a bit of an error. But I just think that's such a great image of Alec Guinness. Oh, man, put me in charge of Hasbro, man, and I would just... that would be my first thing I'd do in office. I should make that campaign. Vote only One Kenobi to take over Hasbro, and I promise, I will guarantee you I will do that first. Then we have, of course, Owen and Beru holding the blue milk. These come from the, I think that was that Power of the Jedi. Anyway, not a bad figure, that. Not too bulky, and then this one came with the cinema scene. But I think that they're such important characters. I would actually be happy if they put them in the retro collection for some reason. I think they... I don't know, probably because some customizers have done it, you know, these fan whatevers have done it, haven't they? But still, yeah, I think that would be quite interesting to make a new figure. And God, they badly need updates. They go back many years now. That would be also, I don't know if they're two separate ones. I'm going to count up in a minute, and then this is all in one. The reason I've got all these together is my priority is this guy. I think that the guy in black, and you see several in A New Hope, you see them on the Tantive 4, which would be quite good for the playset, actually, Hasbro, wouldn't it? You see them on the... Someone wasn't the part. What does he say now? Several of the escape pads have been jettisoned. You see him, you see TK421, and you see, where are you taking this thing? So you see, oh, and they're all wearing black. The only guys in green are the ones in the, what do you call it now? The meeting room. So he would be my choice. Plus, doing him would be an excuse to sort out the officer sculpt. The reason I brought in Wolf is, I don't know if he's going to be an honourable mention or not, but I just think Wolf would be great because he ties in with the Clone Wars. Wolf Yularen is your man. Have I got the right name there? Wolf Yularen. Yeah, he is a guy you see blink. He doesn't say anything. He's in A New Hope. He's in the background, but I love that guy. Basically, I just thought I'd spring him in because, you know, once you make that proper sculpt for an officer, bang, you can do guys like this and Ozzel and others. So, how many have we got here? I'm just going to get rid of him for a minute. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's my 10. If you bear with me now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put my top 5 together and then my honourable mentions. Let's do it. Oh, sorry, one more word. The reason I've got her out, which is Juno Eclipse, is because she's got a loose I nearly said helmet then. A loose hat, right? And the reason I want the figure of the fella who's in New Hope to have a loose hat is because one of the dudes loses their hat when, I'm sure it's when Han or Chewie shoots them in the cell block. Cell block 1138, their hat comes off. I'm sure it does. All right, I've done my split. So these are my top 5. I'm going to start with Luke because that is my absolute number 1 wish. Luke Skywalker, Farm Boy, followed by... Baru, I've just knocked over your milk. Followed by this gentleman. I think that would be just so cool. It's got to be done in TVC. An old Ben, but please do it on the Death Star Corridor card back. Garandan, the card back would be epic. That's number 3. These are my top 5, the ones I'm showing you now. He would be awesome. Enough said about that. It's an alien as well, so I'm not speciesist here. I've got lots of humans going on here. This guy I've put in my top 5 because I just think they can open a can of worms on officers if they get under a proper sculpt done. You know what I mean? A new one. That would be awesome. And finally, this is your challenge, Hasbro. I'm putting him in my top 5 so long as you can do something about sorting out a 3PO that shines. And I think you can do it environmentally or whatever the problem is with vac metalization. Plus, I know you can't articulate vac metal figures. They've got to be stick with the plastic goes quite crumbly, but then again that can articulate. So I don't know, I think you should look into it, but I think what's really important is finishing the first 12. That's why he's in my top 5. That's my priority, you know. And then we go to these guys. I'm really sorry to put these two into it because I think they'd be really good as new characters and big updates of previously old characters or whatever, but they're iconic as well. But I can see these two somehow making their way into the retro collection, you know. But then again, having said that, they're spending the time making things like Mandalorian retros, so I don't know, it doesn't seem to be a priority. I'm sorry to put Leia in here, she does badly need doing, but the reason I put her there is because we've had plenty of Leias be it the retro collection or the the VOTC. So as a carded collector, I feel like I've got plenty of her. You know what I mean? Whereas there's missing cards and good characters there more so. This is Biggs. I'd love Biggs to be done. He's an honourable mention. He's not as well, this is a top 10, damn it, should we say? But that's the first 5, and then but Biggs is like should have been done anyway. So it's just a bit like, well, you know, you're gonna have that's your fault, Hasbro. Damn it, you know, you should have done that. What the hell was that orange card crap? And then this guy, you know, he's not a priority because, you know, we've seen a lot of TIE fighters recently. Although, if you are going to bring out another, please do it on a New Hope card back. That would be just insane. So that's what my 10 are altogether, but these are in Class B. These are my Class A. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed that video. A bit rough and ready. I just thought I would bring that to you to get this series up and running. Let me know your thoughts. Please do let me know if there's a character that I've missed. There's loads of characters. I mean, up here is my New Hope shelf here. We've had a lot of that action recently. You could have argued to have him in on a vintage card back because he's obviously come in a box recently, but probably not going to happen with Bubblegate and all that, you know what I mean? The blister, they're getting rid of the plastic blisters. All these characters, I'd make them all, man. If I was in charge of Hasbro, I'd have all of them on their own individual cards. Recently had him. I'm waffling on now, you get the idea. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I have been Only One Kenobi, Only One. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Tap the notification bell as well. Check out the playlists, including my new weekly show, Only One Fans, where I answer voice messages from my fans and questions and take you on additional room tours in here. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only One. Out.